What are we doing?
So today, right, we are not going to do our regular
We're
discussion.
not. So we're not doing the discussion today.
Yeah, because PM is not here. We are going to, Wathsala is going to teach us the simple present tense. We'll listen to her. I'll give her an exercise. Then I'll summarize it. That's the plan. She's going to teach. I'll give you an exercise. Then I'll summarize. And it's going to be a short, very short
So
lesson.
Wes is going to teach the simple present tense. Then you're going to give an exercise.
Yeah, then I'm going to summarize, and that's that. So if anybody, so I'm going to give, okay, Matsana.
Um,
Um,
yes, the simple present tense is used to talk about things that happen in regularly, like habits and um, mm, routine. And second one is facts and general truth. And third one is scheduled events. And fourth one is feelings and opinions. So we'll talk about first one, things that happen in regularly. For an example, uh, I I eat breakfast, um, and I brush my teeth every morning. He walks to school. And second one, facts that general truth. The sun rises in east, and students go to school on weekdays. And third one, scheduled events. Scheduled events mean you can get for an example, the trains leaves at 11 p.m. And school starts at 8 a.m. And feelings and opinion, we can say, I love animals, and she doesn't like loud noise. And then we move to how to make, we have, we can make sentences. So positive, we can use positive sentences, negative, and question form. When we use positive sentence, we use I, you, we, they. We use the base form. We can use base form. For an example, I play cricket. So they play cricket, and when we use he, she, it, we have to add s or es for the verb. Plays, cries. And in negative form, we add use do not or does not. And subject form I, you, we, they, we can use I do not for the base form, base verb, and he, she, it, we add for the does not for the verb. And like play, I do not play, he does not play. And question form, we use do or does at the beginning. Do I play cricket? Do you like pizza? And does she work hard? Like that.
all right. So now this is what I want you to do. I'm going to give you 10. So hold on, let me share. I'm going to give you 10 verbs, right? I want you to use the 10 verbs and just keep making sentences and look at them and keep doing that here. So can you see the Can you see the?
Yes.
Okay. So these verbs would describe daily activities, right? I want you to just say start from the first one and till the end. Just keep going, but make sure you have a complete sentence. Sometimes you can add a phrase. For example, uh, you can say I wake up every day at 7 a.m. A complete sentence. Okay, go ahead.
She wakes up at 6 o'clock every morning, and I brush my teeth every day.
Use only I or she. Use one form
Oh,
because I can ask female. So start with maybe she. Okay, you can do she. Yeah.
Right. She wakes up every morning. I brush my teeth.
No, use she brushes teeth. She prepares.
She brushes her teeth twice a day. She prepares dinner. She teach English. She writes a letter. She reads a newspaper. She discusses a meeting. She walks to the school. She eats rice. She sleeps well.
So try this verb again, teach.
She teaches English.
Okay, fine. Now use the verb subject I and do the same thing.
I wake up early in the morning. I brush my teeth twice a day. I prepare dinner. I teach English. I write a letter. I read a book. I discuss with my friends. I walk to school. I eat rice.
And the last one.
I sleep little bit early.
Yeah, the idea was that I would give these 10 verbs and you would tell a story. Well, you did fine. So I will let Laura just summarize everything you said, and that's that. Okay, Laura?
So Watsala had discussed the different ways that simple present tense is used. So the first way, general truths and facts, and those are used to express things that are always true or universally accepted. Then we have habits and routines, another one, and that describes actions that happen regularly, daily, weekly, or as part of a pattern. Then you have commentary and analysis, often used in academic writing, journalism, or civic discourse to describe ongoing relevance, or interpretive stance. The fourth one is scheduled events, something that's happening in the near future, used for timetables or fixed plans. Then you have conversational and emotional tone, and that's used to express feelings, opinions, or immediate reactions. And then you have 6, it's philosophical or reflective statements, often used in moral or ethical reasoning, especially in civic education or religious texts.
Okay, Vatsala, Laura gave you a summary. Now I want you to look at this and then teach it, with the examples, right? You read this, tell what a boy said, blah, 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 the entire thing. Go ahead.
When to use simple present tense, general truth and facts, used to express things that are always true and universally accepted. First one, water boils at 100 centigrade, and the JVP is a Marxist, Leninist political movements. Sri Lanka
Marxist,
lies
Marxist, Leninist. Yeah, go ahead.
Leninist political movement. Sri Lanka lies south of India. The second one is habits and routines. Describes actions that happen regularly, daily, weekly, or as part of a pattern. I teach civic advocacy every Monday. She writes bilingual guide
Bi-
for
bilingual
biling-
guy.
bilingual guides for health uh,
Outreach.
outreach. They
Outreach.
vote in every local election. Commentary and analysis, often used in academic writing, journalism, or civic discourse to describe ongoing relevance or interpretive stance. This article argues that uh,
Ju-
judicial reform,
Judicial.
judicial reform is essential. The JVP denies responsibility for past violence. The Constitution guarantees freedom of speech. Scheduled events used for timetable for fixed plans, especially in formal or institutional contexts. The seminar starts at 10 a.m. Parliament reconvenes next week. The outreach campaign
Campaign.
campaign launch tomorrow.
Launches tomorrow. Launches tomorrow.
Launches tomorrow. Conversational and emotional tone used to express feelings, opinions, or immediate reactions.
Immediate, yeah.
Immediate reaction. I agree with you. This feels urgent. We need accountability.
Okay.
Philosophical or reflective statements, often used in moral or ethical reasoning, especially in civic education or religious texts. Truth matters.
Yeah, moral. Yeah, okay. Yeah, truth matters.
Truth
Yeah.
matters. Violence breeds more violence. Justice begins with honesty.
Okay, Laura, anything to add?
So you might have mentioned them, but like I just wrote down a couple of words, and so Wathsala, it was really good. The beginning when you were talking about simple present tense, not this, but how you started, and you spoke about it and you gave examples. I was able to follow you very clearly, so it was good. So whatever I'm saying now, it's just like now we're just being, I guess, like nitpicky about pronunciation of certain words, right? So I only wrote a few because Jay had already kind of said a couple of them, but analysis, I don't know where that one was, but and then scheduled, and I don't know if like British English, if it might sound different.
Yes, different.
So that I'm just saying. And then campaign, and then philosophical. But like some of those words, like I forget what word I stumbled over. I had to say it like 3 times. I was like tongue tied. So
Yeah, relevance.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
you
Relevance. Yes.
yeah, so this is why, right? Everyone, I think we need to take time to read aloud. That would help us. It's one thing to see words. And since Vatsala, remember, you are an English teacher. So the mistakes that you were doing, you are not supposed to do them. When you make mistakes like that, you lose students' confidence. Okay, so
But
yeah.
I was gonna say, Watsala, how in the beginning you were talking about simple present tense. I don't think you were following anything. You were just, unless I'm not seeing it, but you were just talking about simple present tense and how you can use it and ways you can use it, and then giving examples. When you were doing that, I thought, oh, wow, that's really good. It would be nice if, I mean, of course, you're just doing it with us, but when you have the class, if you took each tense like that, so like now you're doing simple present, but if you did the same for like simple past and simple future, and then you had your examples on the screen while you're going through it with the class, I thought it was really good and it was easy to follow.
Okay, since we are on that subject, okay, this display, this thing that I'm showing right now, I didn't write it. I used to write all these things when I wrote the grammar book. How do you think I generated this? I
Chat
think Vatsala,
GPT.
yeah, Vatsala did the same thing. I can tell when Vatsala reads, she has had prepared, which is good, right? So use
You just have to be careful. You just have to be careful because it's not 100% still, right?
100%, yeah. So you have to know what you are doing. Remember, it's a tool, right? It's a very good research tool. So remember, when I used to write articles, I have to go and find out facts first before I write, right? Now, when I want to gather facts, what do? I ask a question, go to ChatGPT, I ask a question. Every question I ask, they give you answers. Those I use them to write, then using my own words. Because the chat
So,
GP, yeah, go ahead.
no, Jay, I just want to know for Watsala and for whoever who's like watching this,
Yeah.
how would you, so say now people are using Chat GPT, right? And
That's
so
right.
I'm not saying that it's wrong. I'm just saying there might be instances when they're not giving the right information because it's still learning, right? There's still, like you can actually help AI. Like if you see that they gave you a wrong answer, you can actually tell them, wait, that's not the right answer. And they correct themselves and then give you the correct answer back, right? But
Yes.
how would you go about trying to fact check something? Like what would be your resources? Okay, so like in our case, it's English, right? And
Yes.
grammar. But so what resources would you use to check that it's correct? Like say
I'll give you an example.
you don't know the answer, right? So you have to go somewhere to find out if it's right. So where would you go?
That's true. I'll give you a very good example. One day I asked a chemistry question, okay? What the chat GPT did gave me totally the opposite wrong answer. So it has to do with Boyle's law. You know, there's a Boyle's law, P, the pressure times volume is constant, that kind of thing. So then I told ChatGPT, no, this is not correct. This is what it is. So immediately it says, sorry, Jagath, you are right, blah, blah, blah. So had I not questioned, as Laura said, that would have been, I think my experience has been, right, mostly when it comes to language or something, what ChatGPT do, even when they summarize articles, they get it from different sources and they put the references, right? They give you the references where they got these facts from, right? So one thing, remember, when people write articles, the things they put in these articles, they are not always factually correct. Sometimes they can make mistakes. So GPT, they don't correct the mistakes. And so as Laura said, yes, you have to be very careful. You have to
And
ask.
sometimes, like, I mean, getting off topic, but just how AI, I mean, there are articles now out there, just regular articles. And this is just a perfect example. Like, someone I know reached out to someone and was like, "Oh my gosh, did you see this article? Blah, blah, blah." Like, and as soon as I heard it, I thought, this doesn't sound credible. This doesn't sound right. And when it was checked, it was completely fabricated. It was false. There was no truth to it whatsoever. So people are just like things are being generated that are just completely 100% fake, but people are now taking that article and sending it to people thinking that it's real. And so I'm just wondering, I mean, that's like a side note, but just whatever subject you're dealing with, in this case, it's English, or like if it was science, where it's like chemistry, say, like that's a big deal. Asking a question and you're kind of going in the wrong direction. And especially if you don't know what the answer is.
Yes,
So
right. In science, and as Laura said, people make things up, put as like real, and ChatGPT would pick it up and present to you. So you have to be careful. As far as language is concerned, it's not that bad. Most of the time they are right. So my question to you, Wathsala, right? So you can use it as for example, right? Look at one thing you can do here. I'll give you an example here, right? So I have here. I forgot to show you. These were the examples. I asked ChatGPT, use these 10. You have to give the correct. You have to give the instructions, right? I said use these 10 verbs. Use people as the subject and make me 10 sentences. Bang! It gave that, right? The reason I picked people because of Pumi. I'll ask Pumi. Some people, instead of people, they say peoples, right? So look at in this case, right? People, this is it's a plural collective now, right? Some people think they have to put an S. Once you get used to a habit like that, it's very hard to break. So what my point is, you can use it in a class, right? You can say, give me 10 verbs to talk about religion. Bang, it would give you verbs. Or you can say, give me 10 words to talk about religion. It's a very powerful tool. But then the question is, do you think people are going to learn? I doubt it. Unless people write it, they use the language, they talk and write and all that. All these tools are not going to help you at all. Right? Just because it gave you this, now you can use it as an example. Now you have to do, this is what I recommend. You show them examples, then you can say, for example, here, right? These are the 10 verbs. Use I as the subject and make sentences and tell a story. Not just like, I wake up, no, use them to tell us. Or you can say, every day I wake up at around 6 in the morning. The first thing I do, I brush my teeth, and before I take a shower, After that, I usually prepare my breakfast. Then while having my breakfast, I will watch TV. Then I need to prepare for my class because I have to teach. So try to tell a story. That's what is important. Not just randomly saying sentences that are not related, right? Try to tell a story using these verbs. Vatsala, I think you did, that's something, I know it was a sudden thing, right? So to summarize, use ChatGPT as a tool, very powerful tool. But the downside is, I don't think unless you do it, you're not going to improve your skills, right?
I
Now,
think you have to have a basic foundation before. I mean, anybody could go on ChatGPT and look up things, and you might have what you need in front of you, but you don't know what it necessarily means if you're starting
exactly.
out. Yeah, I think it's so cool that it does that. Like, I mean, it saves time for you, right? Like, you got it in probably a couple of seconds, those 10 sentences, instead of you sitting there making it.
Right,
Um,
yeah.
and that's fine. I just and I think it's great. And I think that's like a huge benefit. It saves time. I just worry about younger people and like losing their creativity because now they have a platform to go on and it does it for them.
Exactly. I think in like 10 years, nobody is, most people would not be able to construct a simple sentence. That can happen the way it is going right now.
Although I have seen how sometimes, like, if you use ChatGPT to write something, but it's not your writing. Like, you have to have a writing style. Like, you have a writing style. You've been writing for years. So, I
Yeah,
mean, maybe somebody who's younger, that's where it's dangerous because you don't have a writing style yet. And now you're not even forced to try and have one that's in school because you're using all of these things. But for me, if I like ask for something and I'll look at it and there might be a couple of good things, but it's not how I would sound, I'll take those things and then I'll kind of work off of it. So in that
exactly.
way, it could be good. But yeah.
Very true. So even if you collect, let's say, some information, right? As Laura said, read the sentence and ask yourself, would I write something like this? If you don't, most of the time you would not write it. The diction, the words that you use would not be the same. That's the first thing, right? The arrangement of words, which is syntax, would not be the same. So, as Laura said, right, I have a style, and people who read who have read my articles, they know it's me or not. I have my style. Rocco has a very unique style. I know it's Rocco. Laura has a very unique style. I know when my friends send things to me, I know that they wrote it, or I know who wrote it. Sometimes I know he didn't write it, his son wrote it, because I know his son's, let's say, writing style, right? Recently, somebody sent me a message, like 10, 15 sentences. So I told him, you did an amazing job. I'm glad now you know how to use the chat GPT to write it without, making mistakes. So use it as a tool, but make sure you develop your own style, not otherwise you'll be useless. No, I have two questions. So since you did it with us, how comfortable are you, Vatsala, teaching simple present tense to students? Give me a number from 1 to 10, 1 being not being comfortable at all, 10 being, yeah, I can do it in my sleep. What is your number? I want to see. Let me tell you why I'm asking this. I want to see whether what you are thinking of yourself is the same thing that I am thinking. So in other words, I want you to have a pretty good judgment about your skills. So what is the number? you would say you are at? Overall, with pronunciation, with presentation, with coming up with examples, without preparation, your ability to give some examples to students. Here, so we didn't have any students, so they did not ask you question. In a classroom, only God knows what they are going to ask you. So considering all those things, right, what would you give yourself?
7 point.
Okay, all right. So that's your judgment. Okay. So the other question is, how would you, once you teach this class, this lesson, right? How would you measure? How would you find out, because of all these things going on right now? How would you find out whether your students, whether they are learning this material? What would you do to find out in a classroom setting?
Sorry, sir.
So let's say you told them a simple present tense, right?
Yeah.
You spent today and you gave them some homework. Now they come back next week. Now you want to find out, have they learned this material? Can they, do they know how to use the present tense? How would you test them?
I asked some questions.
Yeah, you can give each one something like this, right? Give 10 verbs and ask them to make a tell, right, without any preparation. That's one. What is another thing you can do in a classroom?
Hmm.
You do this all the
I
time.
can give a paragraph and
Yeah, you can give them
I convert into simple present tense.
Yeah, no, you can give them questions and ask them to write the answers, right? You can say, here are the verbs, write me 10 sentences. No computer, you give them just a piece of paper or whatever. So they cannot use their phone, they have to put aside everything. Nowadays, I think if I had to test people, I would, that's the best way to find out. You give them a written test and ask them to write down the answers. Anything else, Laura, before we wrap it up?
Yeah, I think that's good. I was gonna say, like in class, after the session is over, you can give them maybe 10-15 minutes to write a few sentences, and then they can, one by one, they can read their sentences out aloud to the class.
Yeah. Another question, Wathsala. So you gave 7 out of 10, right? That's your assessment, not mine. So what are the areas you think you have to improve? Let's see whether you know where your weaknesses are. Where do you think you have to make improvements? I mean, today's experience, it tells you one was very obvious, right? Both of us commented. What was that? One thing you had to improve.
Explanation is, I think,
It's more basic than that. What was something, Roland and I said, okay, no, you know, this is what it is. What was the thing we kept telling?
I did this without looking any lesson.
Pronunciation, Wathsala. You need to know, you need to pronounce words properly. So here is the thing. I have been saying it like, for what is your source to find out how to pronounce words? Where would you go?
I go to the dictionary.
Which dictionary?
Merriam-Webster.
Merriam-Webster. Do you use that in your class regularly?
Yes.
You do. So I think you need to increase the frequency of using a dictionary. There's another thing that you can do. I have showed you using the remember word. What else can you do to find out how to pronounce words properly? What's the technique you can use here in verb? Do you remember that?
Uh, mm,
Oh, did you say word?
No, word. What is the
Word.
Yeah.
what is the tool you can use?
Dictate. Dictate.
Yeah, read aloud. Remember, right?
Read.
Do you use that? The only thing is to use that you have to have the legal. I mean the not the pirated version of the word, but the real one. Do you have it? Have you used it in your class?
Yes.
Here, you have used it in your class.
Yes.
How often do you use it?
Last month I didn't use it because they have computer classes also, and I did some exam papers.
Yeah, so it shows me that you don't use it often, right? Let's see whether it works.
Here are 10 verbs that describe daily activities.
Can you hear?
Wake,
Yes.
brush,
Yeah.
prepare, teach, write, read, discuss.
So if I were you, I would use that, right? In a classroom, that way. Here's the danger of mispronouncing words. As a teacher, if you mispronounce a word, you are doing a disservice to the entire, all these students. Guess what? They are going to learn that right, and they are going to do it, and you will never be able to correct them. So you have a responsibility to pronounce it correctly. So use this. This is a good tool, and also, I mean, the read aloud option, right? And also, it is under review. Then here, read aloud, and then also use the Merriam-Webster. That's for American English for pronunciation. I think we can wrap it up. Laura, if you have to add anything, please. This is it. Laura?
No, I was just going to say that just overall, your presentation in the beginning, the one thing that I was struck by is that it looked like you were just saying it from memory. It didn't look like you were reading it off of anything. And I thought you did a really good job just explaining everything in the beginning. You did a good job, seriously. Like, I was able to, I mean, I know I am a native English speaker, but I was able to follow each of your steps, you know, what you were explaining about simple present tense. I know I said this before, but I was just really, I thought that was really good. So I think it's really just like, just little pronunciations, some of the words, and really that's it. And I guess the part we don't see is when you're interacting with your students and if they have questions for you. And my thing is, if you don't know the answer to a question that a student asks, it's okay to say, I don't know, but we'll figure out the answer together. You know, we'll find out the answer. I know sometimes, I mean, you know, I know people have different ways of doing it, but I don't think there's anything wrong with saying, I don't know, but I'll find out.
I think that's the most valuable thing anybody said today. As a teacher, we teachers don't know everything, right? The first thing to say if you don't know, just say, listen, I don't know the answer right now, but I'll find out. I'll find it out for you and I'll let you know. And I know in this country, most professors do that. That's how we do it. But I know in certain countries, they don't. They try to show you that they know everything. By doing that, they lose confidence of students. Students know. They know when you are BSing, they know that you don't know the answer. Just say, I don't know. What's wrong with that? No, Laura is very right. So now let me stop recording, then we can talk for 1 minute. Hold on.